Welcome back to WSAV News 3 today at 11. The Coastal Discovery Museum on Hilton Head marks a milestone this year as it hosts its 25th annual art market at historic Honey Horn. Elizabeth Greenberg is museum's director of exhibitions. She joins us now with more. Thank you so much for being here. You weren't here last year and we had a wonderful conversation. So this is one of the museum's most anticipated events of the year. Why is that?
Well, we bring over 85 artists from all over the Eastern Seaboard, from Michigan to Florida, to the museum for a fine art and fine craft fair for 2 days. It's a juried show, so the quality of the work is really high, but there is very mixed amounts, price points, so there's something for everyone. So we really think it's a great weekend to, if you're looking for something for your home, great. If you're looking for gifts, great. But come out and support the artists, and it's one of our big fundraisers for the museum, so that also come out and support the museum.
So I can imagine that it is a great task for you to select who gets chosen to participate every year.
Yes, that is challenging, and there are definitely artists who don't get chosen who could be chosen, so the quality is very high, and it's nice because we have people who come back every year who are very popular, and people make a beeline right to their booths, and then we get new people every year. So it's kind of great because you get about half and half, or 2/3, 1/3, and so there's always something new to see. So I have artists that, I've been buying from the art market for 10 years now, and there are things that I've bought where that artist maybe doesn't come anymore, but then I have new people I get to buy from every year. So I've brought a few things that I just had that I could carry. Yeah. So Samuel Yao, he comes every year, and he does these, this is a small one, but he does these fabulous large baskets, and he's very popular with everyone. And he comes down from Michigan. And
they want you just to hold it up so we can see him.
Sorry.
Okay.
So he does great big sculptural basket works, and they're really gorgeous. And then this is a ceramicist, Gail Ray, who has also been coming for a few years. So I tend to buy a lot of ceramics because I like ceramics. And then last year was my big, awesome purchase.
Yes, I love it.
And this is one of my favorite things that I've gotten. And this is Joanne Graham, who also is a jeweler who comes most years. So we have a lot of great, it's a mixed bag of all sorts of things, textiles, wood, jewelry, painting, of course, all things painting and drawing. You name it, it's there. Stained glass, everything.
And the beauty of the event is that you get to purchase items, but you also get to meet the artists in person and have a conversation with them.
You do, and they're all so friendly, and they're so passionate about what they do, and it's one of the great joys of the weekend for me, walking around, is seeing the conversations that everybody's having, and then hearing from patrons who have come after about how wonderful it was, how much they enjoyed meeting the artists. And so I think, and I'd also say, like, supporting artists really with, instead of going to a big box store and buying a print for your wall, come out and buy the real print from the real artist. It really does make a difference.
It does.
And so and you have something original that other people, you're not going to see everywhere. So I think that it's a win-win-win, and we have food and music and things like that too. Honey Horn itself is such a gorgeous property.
Yes.
The weather looks fabulous for this weekend. So it's just a great place to come out. There's 70 acres that when you're done at the art market, you can go walking around. My exhibitions in the Discovery House are up, all year. So you can go see exhibitions. You can make a full day out of it for sure. So I really couldn't recommend it more.
And the proceeds from this event go towards?
It goes to the museum, so it supports our programs, our exhibitions, all the things we do. We serve 10,000 school kids a year. It's a very active exhibition schedule. We get 100 to 120,000 people through the museum.
Wow.
We're free. So these fundraisers matter because we're free every day to everyone. So the access to our museum is pretty amazing, but it's not free to run a museum.
And so that's why you need the community support.
Absolutely. And so it's a $5 ticket. It's really nominal, but the thousands of people who come, it adds up. And I also like to point out that the parking is as easy as can be. The access to the property is easy, because sometimes going to these things can feel like a bit of a challenge, but ours is really, really, you just park and you walk through the gates and it's right there. It's a 2-minute walk.
Not only easy, it's also free.
It's the parking in the museum is free. The ticket to the art market is $5.
So when people come, what can they expect? I know you talked about the art and just the community aspect of it and the beauty, the scenery, but what else do you have for them to enjoy?
At the museum in general?
At the museum in general.
Oh, well, okay, so if you come to the museum on any given day, start in the Discovery House. I have exhibits there all the time. Right now, we have a fun one up it's the High School Regional for Beaufort County, and people love this show because it really blows people away how talented the high school students are.
Yeah.
That's also a juried show. Along with, we have history of the property, permanent exhibit that you can see anytime. But then you walk out, and it's about a mile trail around the property. You can start at the salt marshes and the docks that go out there. You can walk through our camellia garden when it's in bloom. There still are a few blooms in there. And go through a live oak forest, come around the property. So there's a lot of the nature of the property. We have a new heritage garden. It just keeps expanding,
Yeah.
and and then there's lots of programs.
Yes.
I mean, in the summer, come to our critter meet and greet. That is so fun. You get to hold a baby alligator and snakes and turtles. There's lots of other, education department does so many programs. We really are, on any given day, there's something to do at the museum, a tour, a lecture, makers program, something like that. So I think it's such a cultural resource of the area that lots of people do know about, and then there are people who have lived here a long time who have never been there. And I would just recommend, for people who haven't been there, you go once, and this is what we hear. Once people go once, they keep going.
You fall in love with it.
Yeah.
Okay. Elizabeth Greenberg, thank you so much for joining us. And here's the information on your screen. The art market is this Saturday, April 25th from 10 a.m. until 5 p.m. And then Sunday, April 26th from 10 a.m. until 4 p.m. at the Coastal Discovery Museum. That's at 70 Honeyhorn Drive. Admission is $5 for adults, free for children 12 and under. Parking is free.
Yes.
You can find more information and see this interview again anytime on our website by going to wsav.com/community corner. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.